Hello, everyone. This is Howard Fox, and welcome back for another episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast, where we celebrate individuals and families, businesses, and organizations that seek out and promote the exploration, stewardship, conservation, access, and enjoyment of the outdoors. Lydia Beck, Marketing and PR Manager for Visit Carson City, is our guest today. Carson City, Nevada is a short distance from Lake Tahoe and is the perfect location for great vacations, outdoor adventures, food, and lodging. Lydia, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Howard. Thank you for having me. We're excited to be here.
Fantastic. Now, I do have to share with you, I'm just down the road a piece in Las Vegas, and I realized, okay, Carson City, it's about 7 to 8 hour drive. I think I could probably do that in a day. That'd be a long weekend.
Yeah.
But I could do it in a day. I think that'd be kind of fun because your background, and for our listeners, Lydia has this great background behind her, and it's like, oh my God, there's green. It's not all desert.
Yeah, we are really where the desert meets the mountains in Carson City. It's pretty incredible. We've got views for days, that's for sure.
Fantastic. Now, how long have you been affiliated with Visit Carson City?
I mean, September was my 6th-year anniversary, so I've
6
been
years.
the marketing and PR manager for that time since I've been here.
Excellent. Now, are you a Nevada native?
I am not actually, which I think keeps me fresh in my job as a tourist because I grew up in the prairie state in Illinois, so it is as flat as you can get. I grew up in southern Illinois, so lots of dairy farms and cornfields and about as rural as you can get. And so the mountains for me are really special and really never get old. So this area is like a dream for us.
I love that. Yeah, just to, in the spirit of full disclosure, I moved to Nevada, so I live in Las Vegas, just down the road a piece, about 4 years ago, from Chicago. And yeah, so we have something in common here, a little degree of separation.
That we do. Then you are well aware of what the rest of Illinois could be like, especially driving through it.
Yes, it's
It's
like,
pretty
okay,
painful.
that's a nice looking corn stalk. Okay,
Yeah, and that's about all you get.
I love it. So you've been out 6 year anniversary. What appealed to you to come out and take on this role? Is it just like I need to be mountains, I need to see something different, or what kind of appealed to
Sure.
you?
I've always loved the mountains. We went to Colorado a lot when I was a kid, and I think I
Mhm.
knew since like the time I was 12 that I really wanted to move to the mountains. And so we were in Colorado before this, and then we have been in Nevada for about 8 years, my husband and I. But we got here because of his job. He's actually a cattle rancher, and so we live on the farm that or in the ranch down actually in Carson Valley, about
Okay.
20 minutes to the south of us that he manages, and we really got a dream location. So I'm not your typical ranch wife. I like to say we definitely have different careers, and I've always kind of been in marketing because my family has their own furniture stores back in Illinois, and I
Mhm.
grew up around it and in sales and marketing, and it's kind of in my blood. And so when we moved out here, it was a little too hard for me to work in a family business, and so
Mhm.
I started looking for other jobs, and this job was posted, and I interviewed and ended up getting it, and it's really been a dream.
The
Tourism
rest is
is such a
history.
wonderful industry to be a part of, but
I'm sure.
agriculture is a huge part of my life too, and a huge part of this
Mhm.
area, so it really melds really well together.
Excellent. And as they say, the rest is history.
Yeah.
So for you, again, you're coming in with a very clear filter, only 6 years, and you're part of the community now. What is for you unique about Carson City, Nevada, as a vacation destination?
I'd say first and foremost, our proximity to everything is amazing. So not only is there incredible things to do here in Carson City with being the capital of Nevada, our history, our museum, but you can see behind me how close our downtown is to the mountains. You're 5 minutes away from a half a mile waterfall hike in Kings Canyon. And then you're also really close to the museums that are really rich history and Native American history. But I think when people get here, what makes it really special is the community itself, and our community members are really welcoming to tourists and to visitors, and they really want you to experience what we love about this city. And I think that community spirit also makes our events very fun. So we have a lot of
Mhm.
events We have a lot of arts and culture that's blossoming here, and you can really feel that spirit when you come visit. And I think one of the things we hear the most in the visitor center, because that's where our offices are inside of, is everyone here is so friendly, and I think that makes it really special. Sometimes when you're going to more crowded places, they're like, another visitor, but it's the opposite here. We really welcome them with open arms, and being 30 minutes from Lake Tahoe
Mhm.
doesn't hurt either. And we're 30 minutes from the Reno airport. We're 30 minutes from Carson Valley, which has some pretty stunning, amazing views and historical things, and then Virginia City as well. So we fit in the middle of it all. And I think that's what really makes us a really nice destination to explore all of Nevada and Carson City.
I love it. Well, I am going to definitely have to do that 8 hour drive. I don't know if it's worth going into an airport. I might get there a couple, like 2 hours earlier, but I think I mean, there's a lot to see between Las Vegas and
There
Carson
is.
City.
That
But
drive
it's
is wild, and Travel Nevada has some really cool road trips that they plan for you from Vegas up to here, so
yeah.
those are worth checking out too.
All right. So there's so much to offer as you just described, but is there a particular demographic, or maybe there's multiple demographics that you're trying to appeal to, and folks decide, hey, we need to go out west. We want to maybe do a car tour or fly into Reno, but they say, oh, Carson City, that's interesting. But who are you? Who's your demographic?
I would say our 2 major ones, I mean, we really do appeal to just about everyone, to be honest,
Right.
but I would say our 2 biggest one are millennial families. So, families are a huge one for us just because of all the things I just mentioned. It's so easy to get around here, and you don't have to fight people, and driving around here is very easy. So, I think our proximity to everything and the ease of maneuvering around Carson City is really nice for families, plus the affordability as well,
Mhm.
in comparison to some of the peak times that you're gonna see up in Tahoe. We're close enough that you're still gonna be able to experience, Tahoe if you wanna drive up there every day, but maybe have a little bit more affordable options.
Okay.
We also, with our history and, also for that slower pace, we appeal to the older, more weekday traveler that comes into Carson City, and we're also, appealing more to kind of the solo traveler as well. And so
Mhm.
that's been a kind of a demographic that we're seeing here that uses us, as a base camp for adventure for the area too. So I would say those are kind of our major people that we, appeal to, but we appeal to the masses for sure.
Excellent. I've had the good fortune of having conversations with a lot of professionals who are in the destination marketing profession. And I'm curious how you and Visit Carson City stay on top of maybe the latest industry trends that are designed to bring folks and attract folks into Carson City.
Sure. There's a few ways that we do that. We work also with someone who is wonderful in the industry. His name is Brian London, and he is kind of the industry expert in the trends that are happening in the DMO world. And so we have a newsletter that he puts out every day that I tap into to kind of see what's happening in this space. But we also are part of a lot of organizations like we call it DMA West, it's called One West. So we tap into those organizations that DMOs are a part of, like US Travel, so that we can stay on top of trends and,
Mhm.
make sure that we're understanding what the visitor is doing, what they wanna do, and how they're traveling about and how they wanna travel about so that we can make sure that our accommodations, our itineraries, our website is really
Mhm.
catered to exactly what they're looking for. We also work with a great marketing agency too, that helps us with a lot of our major projects, and they're also tapped into a lot of research. We're very data informed as much as we can be for any of
Mhm.
our marketing campaigns, but we also want to make sure we know what the visitor wants so they have a great experience while they're here.
Okay.
So those are just some of the ways that that we make sure that we understand what's happening in the industry.
Mm, okay. I'm curious, and when I travel besides the DMO, I also like to visit, and if I can, interview representatives from the local chambers of commerce because I
Mhm.
know DMOs oftentimes work very closely with them. Are you also involved with like grant writing? Like you mentioned Travel Nevada, which is the state's travel office. They're the ones that are promoting the state as a travel destination. How often do you get to work with folks like them, and Are grants a part of some of that interaction?
They are, absolutely. Travel Nevada is a wonderful resource for us and great partners, and they've only built up their programming even more to support the rural destination. So we're about 56,000 people in Carson City, but we're considered a rural destination to Travel Nevada because I feel like we still are. We're probably one of the bigger ones, of course, but because we're a rural destination, they have rural marketing grants. And so I write and apply for grants every year for major projects. They have co-op opportunities for marketing that we can participate and write grants for. They're wildly supportive. And then I would say one of the coolest ones that they just launched 2 years ago is called the 3D Destination Development Grant. And so
Mm.
that actually is allowing rural destinations to apply for a very significant amount of funding from a pot of a couple, I want to say a couple $1,000,000. I can't quote me exactly on that, but it's in the millions. And we can take a chunk of that pie to be able to actually develop, um, whether it's an attraction or arts and culture or a physical thing that visitors can participate in while they're in the destination. And so
Mm.
our arts and culture coordinator here, program manager Eric Brooks, is incredible. And he has really taken off with that. And so we applied for a cultural corridor grant. So we're still naming it and branding it, but we were awarded quite a significant amount of money to be able to work with Carson Valley and Virginia City to be able to bring more arts and culture, not only events, but tie our areas together so that that visitors can come and really experience the arts and culture in all three of those destinations. So Travel Nevada is only, and they're just keep building on it. And so it's been very exciting to be a part of that. And then they're also building an adventure center in Carson City and in
Mhm.
Boulder City. So down by you
Exactly.
guys too. So we are wildly lucky to be able to have that here in Carson City, and I think that's really gonna only improve the visitor experience and bring a more, diverse, crowd to Carson City for the arts and culture side too. So,
Mm.
we can't thank Travel Nevada enough for what they're doing and what they're improving on.
I love it. It's very interesting. You just shared about the connections you have and are developing between Carson City, Carson Valley. Um, oh my God, I just
Virginia City?
thank you, Virginia. I should know that. I should know that. Perhaps even Lake Tahoe in this area, because I think I was at a conference this earlier this year out in Northeast Tennessee, Visit Johnson City, and they
Mhm.
had partnered with their surrounding counties, Bristol, Greenville, or Greene County, excuse me, Carter County, to partner to bring an event. It was for the writers of the Outdoor Writers Association of America.
Yeah.
And it was this 3 to 4 day event, but each county presented like a day of excursions. So the writers, people like, and the podcasters like myself could kind of visit each destination. And as you were sharing that, I'm thinking, this is a great opportunity for Carson City may not be big enough to host, maybe you are, a 300 uh, visitor event of outdoor writers and to keep them active and occupied, but you could collectively have a much maybe more intimate event by partnering with, uh, I did it again, the city up north,
With Virginia City? Yeah, in
Virginia City.
Carson Valley, yeah.
I'm not Virginia City. If we ever get on a podcast together, believe me, it's nothing personal. It's just still early here, but Lydia is helping me stay on track here. But you've got all these regional areas. You'd be great, I could think, to perhaps collaborate to actually host an event, like
Oh,
say for the Outdoor Writers
absolutely.
Association.
Oh, we would love that, and we work together to host, familiarization or fam tours, pretty often with the region. So we have,
Mhm.
uh, 6 different territories that Travel Nevada has identified within the state. We're part of
Mhm.
the Reno Tahoe territory, and so
Right.
that is comprised of Reno and Sparks, North Lake Tahoe, South Lake Tahoe, Carson Valley, Virginia City, and us. And
Okay.
so we meet once a month and we go to trade shows together. We'll send representatives from the territory just because a lot of our smaller destinations, we can't afford to send people to the
Right.
major trade shows like the American Bus Association or the National NTA
Right.
or the International Powwow.
Right.
So we work together to promote the region within that organization as well. That's also grant funded by Travel Nevada. So
Hmm.
grants are a huge part of our region and what helps us survive.
Sure.
And but we're I mostly funded by room tax revenue, a transient room tax revenue. But
Oops.
those grants really help us go above and beyond that. So yeah, the Reno Tahoe Territory is a great way that we work together to be able to host people like that and do familiarization tours. So yeah, man, we would love that. That's such a great PR
I,
opportunity and a great way to showcase the region.
I will introduce you to Ches Chezik, who is the executive
Please.
director of the Outdoor Writers Association of America. We say OWAA. And the event type is called Field Fest. And so I'm very happy to make that
Oh,
introduction.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. I mean, with the new Tahoe Event Center that they just opened, it's a great space to host a large group. And
Mhm.
then we can work to bus everyone around the region pretty easily. It's something that we do pretty often. So
Excellent.
that would be
Excellent.
wonderful.
Excellent. We'll do that. I will do that. Now, I do have two other questions I want to ask, but before you answer those, I want to go to the website and perhaps you can give us a quick tour of what
Love
visitors
that.
will see when they visit the website.
Okay.
Keep in mind, some of the questions I wanted to ask are your favorite events, and there's one event that keeps popping up as I go to the website, which
Okay.
I think it's a pretty cool event. It's making me hungry. It's still early, but I'm now hungry. And also, what are some of the initiatives that perhaps Visit Carson City has coming up that maybe you could share? I don't want you to divulge things that you're not supposed to, but if there's some events, initiatives coming up that you'd like to share, I definitely would love to hear about that. So I want with the miracle of Zoom and technology, I'm going to share my screen
Okay.
and I am going to go to the Visit Carson City website. There we are. Look at that. Let me move me down just a little bit. So we are on the website. Take us for a tour.
Oh, absolutely. So people want to know about the history of the Capitol. So that's obviously a part of the first things that you see on the top of the menu bar there. And then under our things to do is where people kind of navigate to first. So
Hmm.
we have our most popular things that people like to do here. So number one, it's history. Number two, outdoor recreation. And then our railways are a huge part of that history too. So we have two rail experiences, the BNP Railway, which will actually take you from Carson City to Virginia City on a historic steam train.
Oh,
And then
wow.
we also have the Railroad Museum, which is downtown here in Carson City. So
Oh,
we
very
have
nice.
things for pretty much any flavor that you're looking for when you get here. But I would say day trips will tell you how close we are to those proximities of other people, of other destinations. We have things for family activities.
Okay.
And so it kind of shows you just where everything is in proximity. We also list Fallon just because they're 70 minutes to the east to us, and Sand Mountain is there. They're a really great
Okay.
destination for us to
Okay.
for visitors to go to.
Okay. I have to admit, I had not truly appreciated just how long north to south
Yep.
the state of Nevada is. I mean, it
Yes.
really, it's almost as long, I mean, relatively speaking, as California. Because if you draw a straight line from southern Nevada, you're almost halfway between LA and San Diego. So this is a big state.
It is. It is. I think that's what makes this region so special is with how much is packed into a really drivable area.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
under things to do, I want to take you to the Kit Carson Trail because that's probably one of our most popular attractions that
Okay.
people go to. So,
Hmm.
this is a self guided walking or driving tour. It's 2.5 miles through our historic West Side district. There's
Hmm.
very few preserved historic districts in Nevada, and we have one of the most well preserved Victorian homes areas, I would say, on the west of the Mississippi. So we've made a map that you can walk through that has the history of each stop. And if you keep scrolling, you'll see that there's also an interactive audio tour that you can take that is just within the website. You don't have to download an app because
Hmm.
who wants to do that anymore? So I would say the number one thing that people come into the visitor center for is the Kit Carson Trail. It's just a really wonderful way to get to see the historic side of Carson City. It brings me by the Capitol building
Hmm.
and all of our historic downtown. So that's a
Hmm.
really fun thing to do. And even if you just drive it while you're here, it's a great way to see it. So you can
Okay.
download the map on the website here and the audio tour.
So I'm curious if I was going to take this tour, 48 stops. Is this a full casual? I mean, I want to stop and get something to eat, rest at the park, have a cup of coffee. It, that's something I would do.
You can
Uh,
absolutely do that. Yep, Carson Street and Curry Street, which you can kind of see stop number 42 is the Capitol.
okay.
Those 2 streets are actually packed with restaurants, coffee shops, places to sit, hang out, and really enjoy the historic downtown. You can sit on the
Okay.
Capitol grounds and have your lunch. It's a really beautiful area. The
Okay.
whole area on the Capitol grounds and the Capitol complex is towering trees that were
Right.
actually planted by the Ferris family of the Ferris wheel. They
Okay.
actually live in Carson City. Their house is on the Kit Carson Trail,
Hmm.
um, and including the Orion Clemens home, which is where Mark Twain lived with his brother when he lived here as well.
Oh, okay.
And so,
Very
yeah,
cool.
there's a lot of history here.
Yeah. Now, you did mention the magic word for me, coffee, which I want to talk about later. If I come here, by the way, Lydia, I want to know where the best coffee shop to go to is. So, but yeah, that's just a to do between you and I. Uh,
Fair enough.
but
I've got
okay, so
plenty of options.
okay. Now, so this tour, the walking tour, get a little exercise. Is this something I would want to plan a day for, a half a day?
I'd say you probably only need a couple hours. It
Okay.
depends on how much you really want to sit, listen to each stop, or if you kind of want to be selected. You can really make it as short as long as you want. So I'd say however long it takes you to do about 2.5 miles is as long as you want to do it. We have
Okay.
a really great video about the experience. And then we have the extended history of each stop on this landing page as well. If you click read more, that will take you there
Okay.
and show you the longer history of each home.
Okay. Gotcha. Very
Yeah.
cool. So we can download the map. This is
Mhm.
great. Got a nice YouTube video. Uh, Very nice. Got the stops. I definitely have to go to the Mint because I mean I was when I had a project in Denver, I went to the Denver Mint, and now that you got the State Museum, I can see that. Definitely have to visit the Rail Museum and go on the train itself. So this is very cool. I imagine during the holiday season, which is coming up quickly, this is just probably a wonderful community that celebrates the holidays.
Oh, they do it big for every holiday. You should see Halloween here. So the
Mhm.
governor hands out candy at the governor's mansion,
Okay.
which I think it's dot number 9 or 10 on here. So it'll come
Mm,
up here soon.
let's
And
go see.
the historic West Side deck out for Halloween. There's about 5,000 kids that show up down on the historic West Side to trick or treat, and it
Yeah.
is so fun. And then they quickly flip over to Christmas, and we've actually had some Lifetime Christmas movies shoot at a few of these houses, back in 2020, and so we're called the Hallmark movie town, pretty often when you see how charming and quaint our downtown is.
Okay. I have to get up to Carson City.
You do?
Mind you, here in Nevada, I love going out to Boulder City. Just get because it's just quaint. You just walk around. You've got some good history, museums, and good food, of course. But just, I mean, I grew up, in the Midwest, little bigger cities, Chicago,
Oh,
Detroit,
sure.
the suburbs, and so this definitely has a little bigger town feel to it, which I do enjoy. And
Good.
what else should we take a look at?
I would say our itineraries are really, really helpful. So under things to do,
Hmm.
there'll be itineraries right there under gaming. So this will give you kind of based on your interest.
Hmm.
If you scroll down a little bit further,
Okay.
there's 4 major itineraries for outdoor options, family-friendly options, historical, and then arts and culture options as well.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you can click on any of those, and they'll give you kind of what a weekend itinerary would look like for. Our articles are also off of our blog. So if you really want the insider kind of local information, our
Hmm.
blog page is a really, really great resource. We actually have locals that we partner with to help write those. So
Okay.
under things to do, it'll be the Capital City Insider blog.
Okay. Okay. There we go.
And that just kind of gives you a little bit more insight into some of our favorite things to do in Carson
Okay.
City.
Very interesting. I have an idea for you, but I'm going to be self-serving. Imagine the folks who are driving to Carson City. Maybe they've got that 2 or 3, 4 hour drive, and the blogs are great, but you should have like a little podcast page, and have interviews of all these great pieces to the destinations.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I
Maybe
love
we need
that.
to work together to write a grant. That's what we need to do.
We should. We should not. And then you could see the history of the Stewart Indian School and Cultural Center Museum. I would say
Mhm.
that's one of the most unique attractions in Carson City. It's
Okay.
really part of American history that they don't talk about or teach you in school. It's a bit of a dark past, of course,
Yeah.
given that it was an Indian boarding school.
Mhm.
So they were kidnapped off the reservation, brought to these schools um, to be culturally assimilated.
Yeah.
However, in the 30s and 40s is really when it transitioned because it opened in 1890.
Right.
It transitioned to a place that they wanted to go and voluntarily went to, and they're really
Okay.
celebrating what the tribes are doing now, but honoring the history and the past that happened there. And the
Hmm.
museum is beautiful. It's free to attend, and the campus has a audio tour as well
Okay.
that brings you around the beautiful buildings that were built there.
Very good.
So I would say
And,
that's
and
always a must see when you're here, in addition to the Railroad Museum and the State Museum.
fantastic. Well, I will definitely have this on my list. So I see again, you've got places to stay, heads and beds. That's what helps pay the bills,
Yeah, of
and good
course.
good food and drink, which is
Yeah.
always very important. And you've got the events, and I love this idea, Carson City to Canada Quest, watching that hike. This is wonderful, and I did see you are on all social media like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest,
We
and
are, yes. So, yeah, we're our major
okay,
ones are Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Our YouTube is
okay,
a really great resource too.
yeah,
We have an in-house guy who does photo and video. His name's Zach Bradden, and he
yeah,
is incredible. And the videos that he's created are a really helpful resource when you're planning your trip here.
excellent, excellent. Well, thank you for taking us on that quick tour of the website. I love just having these little tours, and it gets our folks who are going to watch this episode of the podcast on our YouTube channel, and actually maybe even put it up on your YouTube channel. Here's
We'd
what
love
Lydia.
that.
But I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to go back to our interview. And so, with the events that you are planning for Carson City, what are some of the you've talked about the Christmas, you talked about the holiday walking tours. Are there other events that are coming up that or ones that occur annually that you just kind of look forward to?
Oh, absolutely. The Capitol lighting is coming up actually. So talk about Hallmark Movie Town.
Okay.
We light up the Capitol grounds, do free carriage rides, hot cocoa, and it's really wonderful. And that's happening on December 6th this year. So a holiday that's really kind of the pinnacle. And then we have Tamale Days or the Tamale
Yes.
Festival. That is brand new this year. So I'm talking about Eric Brooks, our arts and culture program manager. He just keeps bringing more amazing events to Carson City in partnership with the Brewery Arts Center. So we have
Mhm.
an incredible staff over there, Spike and Val, that continue to add more events to Carson City too.
Mm.
And so partnering with them together, we really help bring a lot more programming into Carson City. And they just do an incredible job. So Tamale Festival is one of those experiences. And that will be a kind of a way for tamale vendors to hash it out and vote for our favorite. And so that's going to be a new addition in December. And then we have some great events that happen kind of throughout the year. We have a Taste
Mhm.
of Downtown that's really popular. We have a Brew Fest that's really popular. We have the train that runs throughout the summer. And then we get into Mark Twain Days, which is moving to October this year, and so that'll be
Mhm.
the 3rd year for Mark Twain Days. Given his history here and obviously his well-known history up in Virginia City, we created a festival that really is focused around the literary arts, and they even got the territorial enterprise where he worked, the newspaper where he worked, to reopen for the first time in 10 years.
Mhm.
And so we just keep adding on to the festival, and so I think that's gonna be really wonderful, and that's a really, major event for us too. And
Fantastic.
gosh, we have so many, it's hard to list them all off, but,
Oh, I,
those are some of our
you,
major ones.
tip of the iceberg. I could just tell from how you're describing it, and I love, by the way, how you just light up when you're talking about all these events. This is like almost like being a kid in a candy store in a way. All the cool things. Uh, and for our listeners and anybody that's interested in getting into destination marketing, especially at PR and uh, this is a fun industry. Hard, you work hard, but you get to do some cool stuff. So wherever you might end up, it's a cool place. Lydia, before we head out, now you've been in Carson City for a number of years now. As you kind of look back, working with this DMO, uh, working with businesses and folks that want to come to Carson City and the region, what's been your aha moment? Like, oh wow, I get to do this.
You know, I grew up in furniture retail, and so a day where I get to go up in a hot air balloon is just I think that's the work for me. It's never lost. I'm really grateful about how fun this industry is.
Mhm.
We work with a lot of media and a lot of influencers and to help promote the region, and just the fact that we get to share the amazing assets that this city had is really incredible. I think one of the funnest parts has been working with our progressive city officials and city members in our Parks Rec and Open Space department too. So Greg Bergeron is our trail coordinator. And I think the way that we work together to make sure that we can say yes instead of no immediately, how can we make things happen? Like the Carson City to Canada Quest. That
Mhm.
was a big part of that collaboration. We really have some progressive people here in Carson City. Back in the 90s, uh residents approved a tax increase that money went towards a quality of life initiative. And so that just kind of tells you the type of people that we have here. And then for Nevada Day, when I had started in September, Nevada Day is a huge celebration here in Carson City. We have about 15,000 people that show up for a parade. We launch hot air balloons from our main street. And so that happened in late October. So I was a month into the job and they're like, okay, we need you to go up and get photos from the hot air balloon on Nevada Day. And I said, oh, darn, what have I got myself into? So I just don't think it's ever lost to me. I mean, the people who love tourism, love to travel, and they're generally happy people. And I think that you get all this together in a room and it's really can be fun. So
I
I think
love
it's the
that.
people that I've met, the experiences that you get to have. It's your job to show how fun and amazing a destination is. And I don't know. I can't find much more than that's more fun than that.
I love it. I love it. What kind of insight would you like to leave with our listeners? Could be a quote, an experience, or something for them that which really exclaims, Carson City, you need to check us out.
One of my favorite taglines that we've come up with here is Carson City is where history lives and adventure awaits. And I really think that that sums this up really well because you get here most of the time you're here because of the history and then you see
Mm.
these views and before you know it, you're out on the trail or exploring up at Tahoe. And I think that's what makes it really special is that combination of the two. Whether you want to mountain bike and then come down and check out a museum, I think having that kind of synergy and be able to have it so accessible that your kids can come along and do it too. I
Mhm.
think that that's a really special experience.
Okay. When you and the family are get away from the farm just a little bit, or the ranch, I should say, how do you like to spend a day from the beginning of the day to the end of the day? What would you the sights, the sounds, the food, the experience? What would you and
Oh
your
man.
family be doing?
I feel like I haven't even touched on how good our food is here. I would
Yeah.
say, Carson City is special for that. We love to start off with a really good breakfast, and we'll come up, here and do Squeeze In or Cracker Box, which is like your ultimate diner experience that still only takes cash for check.
Right.
And then we love to I think doing the waterfall hike is something that's really great for us. It's a really popular trail, so I don't wanna sway anyone, that you definitely run into people when you're on that trail because it's less than a half a mile and you're at a 25-foot waterfall, and it's
Mm,
5 minutes from downtown. So I have a
okay.
one-year-old, so our experience is very biased into easily accessible things.
Mhm.
But then we just love to drive. We love to drive around the lake, see the sights and get off where it feels right and go hang out at the beach for a minute or go walk the East Shore Trail. And then we'll come back into Carson City and grab lunch if we want to grab dinner. If it's a date night, we'll go to the Nashville Social Club and grab a concert here in town. And then we love to explore Genoa by where we live, which is the oldest settlement in Nevada. And if it's just the two of us, we love to grab in a bar, a drink at Genoa bar, It's the old
Okay.
bar in Nevada, which is so cool. So we keep things accessible and easy, and but we just love to drive and see, especially with these fall colors.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a special time.
Fantastic. Well, we will also provide backlinks to some of the experiences that you just mentioned in our show notes. And speaking of show notes, if our listeners would like to learn more about you, uh, visit Carson City, where are the best places to go?
Visit carsоncity.com is the best resource. And then our Facebook and Instagram pages and TikTok are also a deeper dive into some of the things that you can do here. So you can see it visually. So you can help plan that way. But I would say our
Okay.
website's probably the best resource to find our information. If you're looking for more industry related things or meetings and conventions, we do have that option too. And you can just go to visitcarsoncity.biz.
Okay. Very good. Well, we will also provide that backlink as well as the social sites. Lydia, it's been a pleasure to get to know you. So appreciative of you taking the time out of your busy but fun day. I know. And just kind of join us in chatting about Carson City and the region and the best that it has to offer. And I now know I truly have to plan a long weekend and take that drive from Las Vegas up to
Oh, I hope you
Carson
do.
City.
I hope you do. Please let us know when you're here. We would love to help host you in any way, and we're really appreciative of you having us on.
Very good. Listen, stay in the line. We're going to do a real quick close, and you and I can have a final chat. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's episode with Lydia Beck. She is the marketing and PR manager for Visit Carson City. Carson City, Nevada. It's look, if you fly into Vegas, if you have to, it's just a quick 8-hour drive. And believe me, you're going to see some wonderful sights along the way. Lydia and I did not even talk about dark skies because that's one of my passions is just being underneath the stars. And this is one of the things Nevada is known for, but this region, Lake Tahoe, Virginia City. See, I finally got Virginia City nailed. Reno, Carson City. What a wonderful region, and it's showcasing the all seasons of the best of Nevada. Do go out to the Visit Carson City website at visitcarsoncity.com, and we'll have links to it as well as to the social sites, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I still can't say TikTok either, but I got to get used to that. And also YouTube. And we'll provide, again, those links as well as to the business site as well. If you would like to plan your convention and business meeting in the Carson City region. As for us, you will be able to find this episode on our website, outdooradventureseries.com. Along with all the backlinks, we'll have some photos of some of the sites that Lydia had described. We're also going to have this episode posted up on our Facebook and LinkedIn pages at Outdoor Adventure Series, as well as the full video of this episode, along with our tour of the website, will be up on our YouTube page. And of course, you can listen to this episode wherever platform you get your shows from, which, by the way, I think that's like a wonderful idea. There's a highway here in Nevada. It's like the loneliest highway. It's what they call it. There's a portion, it actually goes across the country, but here in Nevada, it's known as the loneliest highway. And I can't think of a way to spend the time than counting sheep, or I don't think
Count the
corn
cows.
grows out here, but something. But listen to some podcasts or read the blogs from the destinations and that you want to visit, and just enjoy your time when you're up here. Okay, folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, have a phenomenal day, and we look forward to having you join us on a future episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast. Take care now.